darn.
And one of the things that they did together was that take the train from Jamestown to Wellsville to see about collecting some money from a furniture factory down there that owed my grandfather what was then a considerable sum. So my grandfather and my grandmother and Justice Jackson and her, or at that time Lawyer Jackson and his wife, took the train all the way from